Hey guys, Mistik here. Welcome back to the Should You Buy series. In this series, I rate items throughout Graal era. I rate each item on its usefulness to the player, the rarity of it in game, and the demand it has with the player base. Afterwards, I talk about the price and history of the item, and finally give my opinion on whether it's worth spending your hard-earned shells on. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the recently released Christmas present super, the Inferno Slayer. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting out with usefulness, the Inferno Slayer deals 9 damage with a fast attack speed. To make this melee even better, it's also going to have the burn effect, which is essentially going to add 1 extra damage to your attacks. This makes it as good as most 10 damage daggers, however the damage is a little bit inconsistent considering it is a burn. This amount of damage means that it's going to be an absolutely amazing weapon on the streets of Era. You're going to be able to kill people extremely quick, and you're going to outpace a lot of the melees that people use. Another amazing thing about the Inferno Slayer is its one special ability. This special ability is going to be a heal that's going to heal 3 HP at a fast speed. This means that the Inferno Slayer is going to be as good as event coin staffs, rage blades, and even the auction item heal staffs. From what we can see with the damage and heal stats, this is definitely one of the best heal staffs in game. It's going to deal more damage than the event coin staffs, and it's even going to deal more damage than the amazing Rage Blade. I know that the Rage Blade is most people's preference when it comes to a tradable heal staff, so this definitely is going to shake up the market a little bit. Overall, the Inferno Slayer is definitely a highly formidable weapon, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 in usefulness. It's definitely the best available heal staff at the moment, so I gotta give it a high rating. Next up is going to be Rarity, and as we saw with the Bloodblade, these recently released items aren't going to be all that rare. The Inferno Slayer was released in presents in 2020, and 50 of them were released in-game. The relatively large amount in-game combined with its recent release is definitely going to make it pretty common in trade tables. However, there is a silver lining for it. This item is never going to be released again. This is different from most other auction items as they can be auctioned pretty much whenever. However, this is not going to be released ever again. This means that the Inferno Slayer is just going to get more rare. 8 damage heal staffs are very common in trade tables. However, this is the only one that's 9 damage and it comes with a burn as well. This means there are no other tradable versions in this category, which makes it pretty rare from a technical standpoint. This is one of those items that is only going to get rarer as time goes on. Just as we saw with Rage Blade, these things get bought up and hoarded almost instantly. Rage Blade gets auctioned all the time and they're still hard to find, so I can't imagine what's going to happen with Inferno Slayer once the basers and collectors start getting their hands on them. Unfortunately though, it is pretty common at the moment, so I can only give it a 6 out of 10 in rarity. It's not super rare at the moment, but I definitely think it'll be rare in the future. As for demand, this is definitely somewhere that confused me. We know that the Inferno Slayer is absolutely incredible in terms of damage, however, I am still seeing people wanting Rage over Inferno. From my understanding, most people that want heal staffs want to be able to use them in PvP scenarios, so why do people want the lower damage version? The only thing I can really think of is its graphics. If you take a look at the Inferno Slayer, it does have very nice idle and attack animations, however when you do try to heal with it, you see one of the issues. I'm not sure why they chose to use the spinning animation on such a long and skinny weapon. I think there could have been a lot cooler animations done with fire and flames instead of the normal event coin staff heal. Because of this, although Inferno Slayer's demand is pretty high because it is so useful, it definitely isn't as high as it could be. Thus, I gotta give it a 6 out of 10 in demand. I think demand will go up in the future as it gets more rare and more expensive, but right now it is sitting at about the middle ground. The final thing that I'm going to talk about with the Inferno Slayer is the price. It started off at about 120k when it was first released, kind of evening out with most heal staffs. Then, like most new items, it started dropping, and with it, it took the entire heal staff market. It is still slowly dropping and has currently dropped to about 50 to 60k. I would say that this is probably about the minimum for the item. I would expect it to flatten out very soon as it is so useful and the demand is pretty high. I think this is obviously a candidate for it to be hoarded or honestly just bought up by people who actually want to use it. There's only 50 of these in game, so there is a finite amount, and they are going to get bought by some PvPers. This item is 100% on my watch list as I do expect it to rise considerably within a year. I think it could even hit 100k by the end of 2021. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see, and you never know what can happen. There could be other heal staffs introduced, but for now, that is definitely my prediction. Now that all the stats and information is out of the way, I do want to give my opinion now on whether I think this item is a buy. If you had watched the rest of the video, you probably know what I'm going to say here, and I think that the Inferno Slayer is a definite buy. This is probably one of the most useful items I've reviewed. I'm a huge fan of heal staffs, and us getting one of the tradable versions that is 9 damage is just a huge thing for trade tables. There has never been a tradable heal staff with this much damage, so I think it's obviously going to be one of the most popular items in a little bit. It does have a relatively low rarity, but no more are going to be released, so I think it is going to increase in price, making this a great hold item. It's also not very expensive right now, so if you don't have a heal staff and you're looking to get into the heal staff market, it has to be a buy for you, as it's the best one you can purchase, and it's probably one of the cheapest right now. Anyways, that's going to be it for me in this video. If you guys did enjoy, please consider dropping a like, as it does help me out a bunch, and also make sure you guys comment below what your thoughts are on the Inferno Slayer. Also, if you're looking for me to review any other items, please leave that in the comments section as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.